Hello, everyone. I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to another adventure in GregTech New Horizons. So today we are going to finally be installing a pretty big power upgrade, particularly to our basement area. And how we're going to do that is we are going to be installing some big boilers from RailCraft. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be trying to do basically what this quest right here wants us to do, which is the two big ovens. So we're going to be making max size liquid fueled boiler fireboxes, the max size solid fueled boiler firebox, and of course we need a lot of the low pressure boiler tanks. So we're going to try and get that up and running today. So let's get right into it. So I've already made all the stuff we need for that. So we've got our fireboxes right here, and they're each going to need 36 of the low-pressure boiler tanks. So again, these weren't too bad to make. I mean, the fireboxes are a little expensive because you need a cauldron for one of them, and then you need either a blast furnace or an iron furnace. So they're not too bad to make, but we got them in the end. So we have both of them. We have 9 of each. And all we need to do now is go ahead and assemble them. And then we need to kind of set everything else up. So let's go ahead down here because I have already prepared the area where we're going to be doing this. So before we actually go over there, this is where we're doing our coke oven stuff. So we're going to be getting the stuff we need for these over here. So we have our creosote oil, which is starting to fill up. We have our charcoal blocks, which we have 374, and we're going to keep getting more. Here comes another one. And where we're going to be setting these up is all the way over here on the other side of the basement over here, right behind our big steel tank over here. So we're going to be connecting this up to the steel tank, and I've already set up as well a water pump. And the reason I set up another water pump down here is because these boilers will explode, much like the steam boilers we've been using. They will explode if they don't have enough water supply, and I believe these things are going to be using a lot of water. So I just wanted to be careful, and I made another one of these water pumps. Again, they're not too expensive to make. But I did that instead of hooking up what we had with our current water pump, which is over there. So I'm going to be setting these things up here, and make sure I do this on the right side. I think I've already got some pipes as well that are hooked up. So this is going to be for the charcoal block. So that's going to be the solid fuel. That would be the liquid fueled one. Let's head back up here. And we're going to go ahead then and start hooking these up. I think I want these. Let's see. Let me grab some blocks. What I want to do is I want to put that there because we're going to put it like this. So basically how we make this is we have to make a 3x3 base with these. And then on top of these, we keep going with the low-pressure boiler tanks. Now, once we get the second layer on, I think it actually will form. Yep, see, it's formed already, but we can keep going up a little higher. Now it's 3 tall, and we can go as high as 4 tall with this. There we go. So now this is a max size boiler, and it's going to give us a lot of steam. We're going to need to give it water, and then of course we're going to need to give it its solid fueled input, which will be the charcoal blocks. So let's go ahead then and set this guy up over here as well. So this will be the liquid fueled one. So we'll set you up. And then we'll go ahead and put these on as well. Shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. Got a shift on that one. Once it's already formed. And final layer right there. Alright, so we got that done. Now, before we start connecting things up, we have to be very careful on how we do this, because if I do the wrong thing first, we're going to have a massive explosion. So before we do anything, we need to hook the water up to these things, because we need to make sure these guys have water. So let's grab some pipes. In fact, let me see what pipes we have used. So we're using normal potent pipes for these, so let's break these as well. So we're going to go ahead and hook up the water first so that we don't have to worry about an explosion. And this tank right here should be just enough to give us, well, more than enough probably to keep these guys supplied with water. So we're going to use the potent pipes here. Go ahead and hook you up. And then get you up there. Should be supplying you with water. That thing hooked up right there? Let me go up, actually grab a couple of blocks so we can get the arrows on that. And let's turn you off. So it is going in, I can tell. There we go. That should work there. The rest of the arrows down here. Perfect. And then we'll do the same thing over here. A little arrow on you, and then connect you up. We should be seeing something here. Yeah, so you're still running, and you are filling up with water. Lovely. All right, so we're getting water into these guys right now. This one's already full, and this guy will continue to fill up. This guy right here, I think, produces us 2.7... Yeah, 2.7k liters of water per second, so that's actually a pretty decent amount of water, I think. Yeah, seems pretty fine to me. It seems like we're getting enough water in this guy. Taking a little longer for you to fill up, though, isn't it? Probably because we already had some in the pipes. And again, it is kind of splitting off from here. I wonder, actually... I don't think you can, actually, with the water pump. I was going to say, I wonder if I could actually put 2 outputs. But I don't think I can. Let's take a quick look at that, actually. Just out of curiosity here. So the water pump is here. It tells you here, I believe. So, output hatch 1 any casing. So probably you can't put 2 then if it tells you that then. That would have been interesting, but this should do. Yeah, he's already full now. Perfect. All the pipes are full as well, it looks like. Alright, so that's already filled them up with water. So now we can go ahead and start supplying the inputs to these guys. Yeah, that guy's already stopped running, so everything's full up. So now we're going to have to go ahead and supply the inputs. So this guy is going to get our charcoal blocks, and the other guy over here will get the creosote oil. So let me go ahead, grab some more pipes. I think we're using these right here for that. Yeah, let's go ahead and start connecting that up. So we're going to go ahead and bring this tin pipe over here. Now, I don't know if this is going to immediately start running. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and connect you up. See what happens. In fact, actually, nothing is going to happen because we haven't actually connected the conveyor module to that barrel over there yet. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's get that done first, because nothing is going to happen until I do that. So let's go back over here. We got to connect up this conveyor module so we can get that going. And we'll put you right there, and then we'll set you to import. We should get that going there, I think. I think I'm starting to get the hang of those things finally. Let's head up here, actually. So this should actually start... Yep, there it is. It's already running. So we can see it is on now. Charcoal blocks are in. And now with this guy, it's going to start heating up. Now, it's not going to happen instantaneously that these things are going to start running. They do take a while, I think, to actually heat up. In fact, I think they're going to take like 2 hours or something to get to the maximum power here. So we're not going to be seeing results immediately here, but, well, it'll heat up eventually. And once it's heated up, as long as we keep a, steady supply of fuel to these things, they'll stay running forever. So basically, we just have to wait for these things to heat up if we want to get the full output. But at least as long as we set them up, they should, start heating up eventually. All right, we need to hook up this guy as well. So let's go ahead then and do that. So we have our small pot and fluid pipes here. Now, I'm not sure. I think this is 2,000 millibuckets. That should be good enough. I don't know how quickly it's going to consume it, but we'll see. So we'll hook you up right there. In fact, let me break that one. Go, hook you up. The arrow and put you there. Well, I can already see it's on because I can see some light coming out of that. Alright, there we go. I guess these things actually give off some light then. So this guy's already running on. Yeah, there you go. It's creosote oil and water. So water is seemingly doing okay, and this guy's starting to heat up. Now, I don't think we're going to get any steam till this gets to 100 degrees Celsius, so that will be a bit of time. It's getting there, and you can see it's already filled up with all these charcoal blocks now. You're full up of creosote oil, so these things are ready to go. Now, we also need to be ready to output these steams, so that's the next thing we need to do. So let's see if we can go ahead and grab some stuff here. So we're going to need large pot and fluid pipes, and we're going to need some... Well, actually, I don't know if we're going to need these pumps. I don't think these auto-output. So we'll see, but we're going to use these large pot and fluid pipes. I'm going to need to connect that into this tank here, so we're actually going to have to do some work on that tank as well. We're going to need to add more valves. So I'm going to go up here. So I got a comment, actually, recently that you can put these valves. You don't have to put it on the top. You can actually put it on the, like, top part here, like the faces over here. You can't put them on the edges, I don't believe, but right here where I've got this glass is fair game, so I think what we can do is I can grab you and put that valve there. Yep, and that still is formed. And that should be able to automatically take in steam. And then we'll do the same thing over here. And put you in. So we got 2 of these valves now we can start inputting stuff into. Right, so now what we're going to do is come up here like that, and then we're going to need to start putting in these. Again, I don't know if these are going to automatically input, but basically all we have to do, in fact, actually, I don't even need to be up here for much. Put that one there as well, and we'll connect you up there. I'll do that. I'm not going to connect it directly to that tank just yet, because I want to make sure we can tell if this thing's auto-outputting or not. But if not, I'll just add a pump to it. So, connect you up. And what we need to do is just connect up the rest of these pipes. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Put you there, and we'll put you there. Alright, that should be good. And then we just need to connect these up here. And then put the arrows on these. Alright, so that should be pretty much ready. I just have to connect you up to there, and I just have to make sure that these things are going to auto-output. Now, this guy is only at 50, so it is going to take a bit of time to actually get you heated up. So again, these things do take a bit of time. I think the max temperature gets up to like 500, but once you hit 100, we'll start getting steam. So just kind of have to see how long that's going to take. Now, we could do a couple of quests as well. Well, actually, I wanted to get this quest done here. Didn't tick off on this one because we need to get the blocks of charcoal, right? We actually have some up here as well, and it is nighttime, I just noticed. Let's go to sleep. So let's go ahead and get that quest knocked out. We just got a speed boost as well. I always love when we get that. Alright, so here we go. We got some charcoal blocks. Looks like we have just enough for that. That should complete the quest now. Yep, there we go. 2 big ovens. And in fact, while we're here, how much is in these? Oh, okay, we can add some more to that. Take some steel as well. Put those in. And take that. That should be good. And we'll put the steel into here. We are slowly rebuilding our steel supply after we made those multi-blocks a while back. So we're slowly getting our steel supply back up and running again. So that is quite good right there. Let me put these gauges away. We don't need those now. Hold on to those pumps. So let's see what that does for us. So we got this quest knocked out finally. So that's with the 19 coke ovens automated. You can sustain 2 big boilers endlessly. So basically that's exactly what we've just done. So everything has now been completed for that process. We do get a choice. We'll do a loot bag for that one. Why not? And that completes us into this one. No benzene yet. This quest book page is supposed to explain the benzene power gen line, but you might have noticed that you haven't made any benzene yet. That's because the recipe path to get it from charcoal has an MV recipe. Okay, so we can't go any further, it seems, but we can tick that off, and it gives us a free robot arm. Won't complain about that. And then, looks like these are the next quest, so that's to get into benzene and stuff, but we'll probably need MV for that. What's this one here? Carbon chemically. This is sugar it wants us to have. Interesting. Pretty much magic, really. Carbon monoxide, valid fuel for gas turbines. Okay, so something to do with sugar with that quest. So, looks like we've gone pretty much as far as we can here in the Bio for the Masses tab now. So, we did get that free robot on. That is quite nice. I'm quite happy about that. Let's put that in there. Alright, so let's see if maybe we should do a few other quests today as well. Anything else we want to try and get done? There is this one right here, actually. Faster steam transportation. So do you think the steam fluid transport is too slow? Your LV pumps doing only 640 liters per second. Then it's time to make the 32 times faster LV steam valves. They only work with steam and are just as fast as the valve on a RailCraft tank if you put it on the bottom side. There are also MV, HV, EV, and IV versions. Maybe we should use these then instead of pumps. 640, yeah, because we're going to be making a lot more than that. Well, we don't know if they auto output. Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, let's just do it just in case. So we'd need to make... Okay, they're not that expensive. Steel gears, motors, and pumps. Right, let's give it a shot. We got, let's see, we might need a few more pumps, in fact. I think we've got plenty of stuff to do that right now. So a few pumps here. We only need one for the quest, but... Let's make 2 just in case. Well, yeah, let's just do it. Again, I just don't know if they auto output, so we needed that. And what else did we need? It didn't seem that expensive. Steel gears, right. Alright, so we're going to need half a stack of steel. Put that into the infuser. Grab our gear mold. Put you in there, and that should be that. Yep, there you go, off and running. And we'll put you back in here. Let's go quickly check on those boilers again just to make sure everything's okay there. My biggest fear is we're going to go there I'm going to go over there at some point and there'll be a giant hole. But I think everything should be fine with this. Oh, you're already at 77. Alright, we're getting close there. That's good. So it's actually not taking that long. Yeah, 78. That's quite good. It won't take too much longer than that. Alright, so let's go grab our steel gears and see if we can make these valves then. So there's 4 steel gears. We'll go ahead and put these... What was it? I think it was an assembler. Yep, assembler on circuit 5. Alright, so we'll put you in there, you in there, and you in there. And that'll take 20 seconds. Alright, let's put these coins away then while we're waiting for that. That should complete that quest as well. Okay, we should be getting our first one here in a moment. There we go, steam valve. And we can go ahead, I think, yep. So there is the quest for that one complete. So you'll give me either 2 motors, sheets, or steel. None of those are really great, but 8 steel or 2 motors. We'll take the motors, why not? We did get another loot bag, it looked like, as well from that, but the motors there. You have some loot bags as well. Let's grab that other valve. Alright, let's see if there's anything else of interest here around as well, because there's so many quests, and we gotta try and get them done. Again, like I've said before, my goal is to try and get all these quests done before we even get to MV. We're making progress. I'm going to make more progress because soon we're going to be jumping into making some batteries, and then, of course, we need to do oil, and, of course, the main goal we have right now is to try and get to polyethylene. You know, I've lined that all up over here in our planning room. Yep, we've got our plan. Right now, we're just trying to improve steam production because with that ore processing system we made recently, it's using a lot of power when it runs. So I'm trying to improve steam production, and next up we're going to try and do batteries, and then we'll do the oil stuff. So we've got a whole plan on how we're going to proceed here. And eventually, we should be able to get to polyethylene. So, let's go ahead back down here, in fact, and just quickly check up on how you're doing. Because, again, I don't know if this auto outputs or not. Oh, at 91, it's almost there. Once it gets to 100, we should start getting steam, I think. In fact, how are we doing in here? Are we running anything in here? Doesn't look like it. Let's see if we got anything. So I've been running some more stuff through here. So we've been getting some... We got a ton of tin, by the way, actually. I went mining for tin. We now have 1.7 thousand cassiterite sand, and I've already processed quite a bit of that in the furnace to get more. We've got a bunch of tin. This is all from byproducts here. We're getting some pentlandite. I think that is... Is that nickel? Yep, that's nickel right there. So we're getting some of that. We have sulfur, a little bit. That was a byproduct. This is asbestos, silicon dioxide. I've been processing various things. In fact, we need to get something else processing, so let's do that quick. So all my main ores over here, I throw them in the macerator as need, and we've got, well, we got a couple of things crushed down. Then I grab the crushed ones from here. So let's see what we've got. What do we want to do? I've got more asbestos down there. Stibnite, actually. That might be an interesting one to try. What do we get from that? So, stibnite, I can get antimony, and looks like it's mostly just antimony we get from that. In fact, I think stibnite itself, does that give you antimony? Yeah, so that's just all antimony. I try to do ones that give us a byproduct. Fuller's Earth. What does that give us? Fuller's Earth, we get alumina dust. I don't think we have that one yet. And we get silicon dioxide. Let's give that one a shot then. We'll do some Fuller's Earth for now. I'll process some of that. Do we have any more around? Looks like we had some in here. So we got a little bit of Fuller's Earth. So what do we get again? I've already forgot. We get alumina dust, which I don't believe we have. Let's go ahead then and put that into the little ore wash over here. So we throw it into the barrel here. That sucks it in. I've shown all this. We did this together. I do need to turn you off because I don't have the alumina dust, so I have to do this part manually until I get it, and I can put it in that barrel and lock it. So off you go. Gonna get any... Yep, we're gonna get an alumina dust. So I have to basically kind of wait here to get that, and then I lock that in. So... see how long that takes. It won't be too much longer. We'll get the alumina dust from here. There it is. I'll take that and then gotta lock you quickly. There we go. So now everything should start running up into here, and I'll just put the extra stuff there. And again, like I shown before, it comes out into here, so we have our output bus. It goes in here, purified power flows up, then it eventually gets sucked up into our centrifuge, where it will all be delivered over here. And the alumina dust is, of course, sucked up from there, and it's now already over here. So we can lock that. And we should start getting this guy running soon. There he goes. And you start running. It only takes 5.2 seconds to process this, and we'll get our Fuller's Earth, and sometimes we'll get a byproduct in there, and that should go in here, and now I lock you. Alright, so that's how I do the ore processing right now. And this guy should be ready to go now, I think. Yep. Oh, wow. Look at that. We've already got that much steam. So 110. You're at 102. Right. So let's do a small test then. Let's see how fast this does take it out. So, well, does it take it out? We haven't even determined that yet, have we? And the answer's no. Doesn't appear to be. So... in fact, let me just quickly see if this does anything else for us. Because this says it does more, but this only does 640, and we're probably making a lot more than that. Just out of curiosity. We just put that in import. Yeah, see, it isn't doing it that quickly. Look at that. We're making more steam than we're taking out, so it actually is a good thing we made this. Alright. I think we made the right decision there to make these steam valves then. Alright, we'll take you out and we'll put the steam valves on instead. Okay, so that was an interesting little lesson we learned there. So steam valve, and that works the same way. We import it, and look at that. Look how much faster that's coming out now. Alright, so that is going quite well. Water is keeping up. And then we'll put you on you as well. Import, and we still need to hook these up. Alright, so it looks like these things are ready to go now. So go ahead then and hook you up there. And we'll hook you up there. And that guy should stay supplied a lot longer. Again, we are getting supplied from the top as well, but this just gives us an extra bit of oomph. Again, when I'm running this, we are using usually quite a bit of power, so it is quite good that we have done that. So, yeah, there we go. We've got our power upgrade up and running, and again, the power is only going to increase as these things continue to heat up, which will take a bit of time. And again, this is probably going to start filling up a bit as well because, well, this thing's quite full. Again, it gets supply from the top as well, so shouldn't be that bad, but we should be doing quite okay. I might have to do some adjustments. Maybe I'll disconnect the ones from the top. I'm not sure. I don't know how much power we're going to get directly from all this, but we're doing quite well. So, yeah, water's keeping up. This guy's emptied. So, you seem to be doing quite okay right now. Interesting. Yeah, water doesn't seem to be much of an issue. You should be able to keep up with that. And yeah, that seems to be running quite well. So I think that's a mission accomplished. So is there any other quests we need to turn in right now? Take a quick look. Oh, we have some here. There was the Blood Moon a couple of nights ago, and I did some mob killing. So got some coins from that, I suppose. We can go ahead and claim those. And we get a ton of coins as well from that. So let me go turn those in, and we'll go ahead and do what we normally do to end off the episode. We'll open up our loot bags, and then we'll end it for today. Let me throw these away. There we go, there's all those. Alright, so that's not a loot bag. This is a loot bag. So let's go ahead then and open up our loot bags to end off. So, first loot bag. We got a scuba helmet and a cheeseburger. I think I already have a scuba helmet somewhere. And then the second loot bag for today, we got 2 small coal boilers and a single lapisaur. Why would you give me steam boilers for an LV loot bag? Well, I mean, I guess you use steam in the LVH quite a bit. But I think we're kind of past those at this point. But yeah, I think that is pretty much going to be it for this episode. So we pretty much accomplished the main goals for what we want to get done with this. We've got our power upgrades. I still have to keep an eye and make sure we're getting enough. Well, we should be. I mean, the quest said 19. We're using 24, so this should be enough. We are getting enough wood. I can guarantee that because this has gone up from last time, and it's been pretty much maxed out. So we're definitely getting enough wood. We're getting enough creosote. We're getting more than enough creosote, and we're going to be getting enough charcoal. The only reason that's gone down is because I had to fill up the buff for that. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with how this has turned out. We're definitely getting the power upgrades we needed. This will continue to heat up, and we'll get more soon. In fact, that's gone down now. Probably because we're running that ore processing, like I said, so it might be taking this in. So that's good. Yeah, this one's empty still. So yeah, it's quite good. I'm quite happy with how this has gone, and yeah, looking quite good. So I think that is where we're going to end this episode off. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.